Brian, I think most people have heard about reverse mortgages, but explain a little bit about what they actually are and how they work.
Yeah, one thing about reverse mortgages, you have to be 62 to qualify. So basically, they're a way for someone to stay in their house for as long as they want to, and kind of shifts some of the burden of that to a borrowing partner, the bank in this case, a mortgage company, whatever it is. But it's just a mortgage on your house. But you don't have to write the monthly checks on the mortgage. It just starts eating away at essentially your equity over time. And so, yeah, again, it's good for cash flow because you no longer, you have a mortgage, you can stay in your house, whether you took the reverse mortgage and paid off your other mortgage so that you don't have to write those monthly checks anymore, or maybe you just got a chunk of money that you needed to help you through your retirement years by taking some of the equity out of your house. But the difference between this and a typical mortgage is you don't have to pay the monthly mortgage payments.
Brian, if you get a reverse mortgage, does that mean that when you pass away, your house goes to the bank and maybe the equity does not go to the heirs?
It's possible. You'll have less if you get a reverse mortgage. Obviously, you're getting benefit. And so if you leave it to your heirs, they're going to inherit less or potentially nothing at all. And so that is a consideration in this. But as we've said in other videos, put the oxygen mask on yourself first for your kids. So maybe that's just what it takes for you to stay in your house. They are somewhat complicated. There are fees associated with them. And so those are some of the detriments to that, but they also have benefits.
Brian, what are some of the other benefits to a reverse mortgage?
Yeah, it helps secure your retirement, lets you stay in your house, as I mentioned. Even if the mortgage plus the interest exceed the value of your house, they can't just kick you out. It allows you to stay. It is tax-free. They'll pay off any existing mortgage that you have. So there are absolutely benefits to that.
Brian, are there any requirements to getting a reverse mortgage, or can I just call a company and say, hey, give me the mortgage?
No, there's some counseling you got to go through to get through this. As I mentioned, it's somewhat complicated, but I did want to give an example here. I know somebody that did a reverse mortgage. They had a 3-story house, and it was a beautiful house, but her husband passed away, and it was a lot to take care of, and she wasn't very good at that. Her friend also had a reverse mortgage. They had a Rambler, and husband passed away, and it was something that they could live in. Well, the person with the 3-story house, it wasn't long before she just couldn't navigate the upper stories anymore. And by then, though, the reverse mortgage had been in place for a while. When she sold the house after paying off the reverse mortgage, there wasn't enough left to buy a Rambler. She didn't have enough equity, so that was a problem. The person in the Rambler had no problem at all, and they could live there for an extended period of time because there were no stairs. So sometimes it's something as simple as the design of your house that might make a decision. Maybe that person with the 3-story house should have probably just sold their house, taken all their equity, and bought that smaller house that they could live in had they known they were not going to be able to navigate it in the years ahead.
Brian, thanks for telling us more about reverse mortgages.